We'll wait for 2-3 minutes more. We have few attendees, let few more join, and then we'll start.
Sure.
Okay, I guess we are good to start.
Yes, Mahima.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to today's session of Sitecore User Group Nagpur. We are delighted to have you join us here as we explore some key areas of Sitecore and headless development. Our speaker today is Mohammad Sirajuddin. With 13 years of IT industry experience and a decade focused on Sitecore, Sirajuddin's depth of experience is remarkable. He is Sitecore certified professional and was honored with Sitecore MVP award in last year, which is 2024. In today's session, Siraj will walk us through some crucial topics of Sitecore and headless development, such as headless architecture, pre-rendering options available, front-end technology stack, Sitecore serialization, deployment strategies, and content resolver. We have an exciting session ahead of us. Before we start, if you have any questions and query to ask to Siraj or any of us, feel free to drop the questions or queries in a chat box or in Q&A section given here. So let's dive in. Over to you, Siraj.
Thank you, Mahima, for the very nice introduction. Yeah. So let me share the screen and okay. So So this is the topic. So before I move into the topic, I wanted to introduce myself. Yeah, pretty much Mahima already explained about me. So I'm having 13 years of experience in IT industry and having 10 plus years of experience in the Sitecore. So my key role is work with the Sitecore applications, and recently I worked on the headless part. I'm working as a lead consultant in the Sitecore. I'm very passionate to learn and happy to share whatever I learn. So whether it is big or small, okay. So my positive approach is I never say no. So I hope sharing the knowledge will increase and improve our skills. Okay, that's why I'm trying to keep the sharing as much as possible. So one small quotes to start with. Okay, it's just a quote. I just wanted to say, you people just respect the people whichever position you go. So definitely the people will start respecting you. So this is a kind of give and take policy, I believe. So yeah. So let's jump into the agenda because I am little worried about the time. So I try to cover it within a 55 minutes or 1 hour because it's pretty much from the start to the end. Okay, I'm going to cover in part of Sitecore Headless. Okay, so this particular session will not disappoint the beginners because I'm just going to start from the installation steps and but not I'm not going to do the installation. Definitely that will take our time, but I already done the installation, but I'll give all the installation steps and the articles, then you people can do that. And as a beginners, okay, we have some questions in our mind, right, while choosing the things. That is also I'm going to cover. And anyway, so first of all, if we see our first headless application in the upfront of our screen, okay, definitely we will be joy to go with, right? Okay, so at that moment also we are going to dig it. And yeah, so then so once we start entering into this particular forum, the Sitecore Headless as a beginner, so definitely our skill needs to be improved, right? So that is a beginner to the intermediate in the platform, then know how to set up the front end and back end. Okay, what are all the refactoring steps and how it is working, and how the best possible way to do it in the deployment structure and response refactoring. So what is the REST, what is the GraphQL, and what is the serialization, and what are the deployment options are available. So we are going to cover all this in this session. So let's go straight away because I'm not going to consume more time on the traditional CMS. But before starting with this headless, okay, I just wanted to say a few things about the traditional CMS. Okay, wherever we go, so not only the Sitecore, we have WordPress, we have OS Commerce, we have the other Adobe CMS as well. So wherever we go, the traditional CMS is the view is attached with the view. The view in the sense of the presentation. The presentation is attached in the CMS itself. Okay, so that makes a little problem. So while doing the modern UI frameworks, whenever you want to explore more in the UI frameworks, the trending UI frameworks, okay, that is very difficult because, for example, in Sitecore, in Headless, okay, we are using the .NET. So the .NET, we have the MVC, we have the views. That view is completely tightly attached with the presentation in the Sitecore. So that is the one drawback we had in the traditional CMS. That's why the headless is providing this challenge, the overcome this challenge particularly. The headless CMS architecture separates the backend and the front end. Okay, we all know. So maybe the beginner, so they might wonder, okay, what is the backend, what is the front end? The front end in the sense, okay, what are all the things, okay, the user is going to see, and so that is the view, the presentation. So in front of our website, for example, whatever we are seeing, the UI infrastructure interfaces, right? Okay, that is the front end. And the backend means, okay, what are the data logics and the data storage and database. And so here particularly our case, okay, we have a Sitecore, and the front end we have the modern frameworks as well. So this is challenging. So nowadays you see, so previously we have the web and we have the internet and only the web pages, websites. That particular day is gone right now. So now everything is moving towards the modern world. In the modern world, okay, we have the devices like the smartwatches, virtual reality, and AI enabled devices like so we have Alexa, we have there are a lot many things, right? Okay, so now this is actually this headless particularly overcome these challenge to connect with these devices and all. So and also in particularly in Sitecore headless, okay, it supports all the modern frameworks. So there are a lot many famous frameworks, right? Okay, we have a React, we have Angular, we have Vue.js, and recently we have the Next.js as well. That is also developing on top of the React only. So and it supports build and interactive response user interfaces. That is the one lagging point when we consider the traditional CMS. Okay, we have to do a lot many things to do this interactive user interfaces. But here we have the React, Next.js, Angular, so we can do build an interactive response UI. And for the marketers, okay, this is the life-changing moment, right? Okay, so because the marketers will always taken the wireframes or the some sample PPT or some sample images to show to the customers, and they actually show the customers to convince to get the product and all, right? Okay, so for this particular headless, okay, we can definitely, okay, we can provide some preview of the application very sooner than the traditional CMS, because they will see the real time, okay, how it is doing and all. So this headless is kind of life changing for marketers as well. So just pitch into this conceptual overview for the Sitecore headless, okay, because particularly in this session, okay, we are going to cover the Sitecore. Sitecore headless development is based on the front end and back end. We already seen that. This is kind of the user sending the request to the web server, which activates the rendering host. That means, okay, the front end Next.js code, okay, that is having the all the view which is going to render, and so it will call the layout services, and so the layout services will provide the content and the data from the Sitecore headless services, and that will be merged into our UI application. So this is how the Sitecore headless is working. So we are going to see it in the demo as well. So in this particular session, yeah. So you just imagine, okay, the decision has been already made, because now I already told, okay, we are moving towards the modern framework world, and now the decision has been made. So we are going to develop the Sitecore headless application. So the Sitecore headless architecture we are going to start, okay. As a beginner, as a fresher, or maybe new to the Sitecore headless, okay, definitely we will fear or scared to start with the headless development. Definitely, this is everyone's cup of tea, right, to drink, and they start with the Sitecore headless. So this is so okay. So even I also did the same, and when we started moving towards the Sitecore headless, I don't know much about it. So and how it is working, why they are moving towards the Next.js. So I don't know about the Next.js because I'm kind of a background from the C#. Okay, this is and all. Okay, I already so these confusions and all already I had. Okay, so same kind of the confusion, same kind of the scare, fear. Okay, that definitely everyone will get. So no, don't worry. Okay, because this is the situation, okay, everyone will face, and this is a kind of a demo I'm going to start with. Actually, to consider the options, so to start with the headless development, we have the two options. One from the Sitecore CLI, and through the CLI, and another one is the Docker. And to be honest, okay, I didn't had much smoother operations through the Docker in my local. Okay, I got a lot of issues from the Docker side, but one by one, okay, I'm also learning day by day to resolve those errors as well. But so we don't, Docker is just an option, okay, that's not a blocker, right? So that's why, okay, I'm choosing the another option like, okay, JSS CLI. So now the JSS, okay, what is the JSS? JSS means we have the JavaScript JavaScript services. So this term now changed as a Sitecore headless. So now everybody is saying that Sitecore headless. Previously, they came up with the term JSS. So now we have the options to think during the installations. So we are going to see that. So I have the installation document in LinkedIn. Okay, we can check that. Because I'm not going to install it here because that will consume our time. See, I already have this document, and I'll share this PPT as well with you, and you just go through it. So Sitecore has provided this library, Sitecore JSS, Sitecore JSS CLI. Before we start with this, okay, everybody should have the Node.js up and running in our system. So wherever, if you wanted to put it in the server, make sure Node.js should run. So Node.js, how you can make sure the Node.js, we all know, okay, so you have to go to the command prompt and you just check the version node space -v, okay, then it will give you the version of the node. That means, okay, so you are, you can go and do all the node stuff. So once you install this, and you can put JSS and then like this, okay, definitely it will give you this JSS option, so we can go with it. And npm, just go with the initialization Sitecore JSS. This is the just Sitecore JSS is application, and so this we are going to create in my local. That's why now this is the name of the application in my in my local my first JSS app. In this demo, I'm going to show Sirajuddin JSS app. Okay, so don't confuse with that. This was the old article. Okay, so this is just a name of the app, and I'm going to choose the Next.js as the UI framework. Okay, we have the other framework option as well. We have the React, we have Angular, we have Vue.js, but I am going to choose this as a Next.js. So this is the important steps to consider while doing the installation. So see here. So there will be lot of options will ask, okay, when you hit this. So this will be asking, so which template you are going to use. I'm going to use the Next.js. Where would you like to your new app to be created? You have to give the location where you want this front-end application should be reside. There should reside. Okay, then we have to give this path. And then what is name of your app? Okay, you have to give this app name. I have provided Sirajuddin JSS app in this case. And before this, we need to make sure we have the Sitecore up and running. Okay, so in our system, so the Sitecore installation is the different concept. Okay, we all know okay how to install the Sitecore. Just to make sure okay your Sitecore should be up and running in your local or server wherever you want to go. So then you have to give the Sitecore domain name, and this is the important one. So this is a fetch. So the fetch means okay we have to choose the this is a kind of endpoint fetch. Okay, so we have the two options in Sitecore. One is the REST and second one is the GraphQL. REST we all know. So this is representational state transfer data, and we have the GraphQL as well. So GraphQL is the kind of structured query language. Like I will show that. Okay, but in this case, okay, I'm using the REST, but I will tell you okay how the GraphQL also working. And so we have the two options. Here we are choosing the REST. And how do you like to pre-render your application? So we have the two options. So this is also very important. And SSR and SSG. So SSR is the server-side rendering. So mostly the people will familiar with the server-side rendering. So each and every request, what will happen? The server-side rendering will create the new page request. So it is getting the data from the server. But we have two concept here. One is the build time, and second one is the response time. So during the build, what it will do actually, so it will create the node in the server, and response time it will hit the server and get the data, and it will render the data as per the request. This is the server-side rendering. We have the other options as well. That is SSG. SSG mostly we work whenever the data is static. So the data in the sense, okay, data will not change any logic or something. So we can use that time the SSG. So SSG, what happens? SSG means static site generation. So the static site generation here also there's a concept like build time and the response time. So whenever you build triggers, okay, what happens? Okay, all the pages will be already stored with the data. So, okay, so that means okay the page will page is going to deliver from the server. Okay, so the build time itself it is having the page, but so the response time it's directly, for example, okay, if we can use the CDN or Vercel, okay, from there, okay, we can call the particular server. Okay, the page is directly serving. Okay, so that is the static site generation. But whenever you want to see the refreshed data in the sense, okay, the incremental build only will needs to happen. Okay, so build needs to happen incrementally to get the response, because this pages and all created during the build time itself. So this is the SSG, but for my case, okay, I'm going to get the SSR, because I'm going to get the changed data every time from the server. Okay, I'm going to choose this SSR here. And would you like to add on any initializer? So like means, okay, this is just template we have to choose. Okay, that's it. I just chosen the one vanilla template here, and we have to choose one extra language. Okay, this is just an optional. Okay, you have to choose this as well. So once you done with this, yeah, so we already covered this SSR and SSG, and this is the layout service REST or GraphQL, and this is the option. So we may have some questions, okay, as a beginner. And so once you've done that, then we have, yeah, after the install, once the installation done, so what we needs to do actually. So then this is my application. So once the installation done, so from the local, I'm going to open this application. This is the Next.js application. This is the structure. Okay, you can see it. Okay, we have the data and public scripts, Sitecore, SRC. We all know. Okay, node modules will not come at the first point. Okay, whenever you go npm init. Okay, then the node modules will create. That is the first step we have to do. And so once we done that, actually, we have the two modes. Okay, one is the disconnected mode and one is the connected mode. JSS start. Okay, so go to the package.json and we have the start properties. The start properties see the JSS mode. JSS mode is disconnected. So what is doing this disconnected means, okay, disconnected will always listen disconnect will always listen the layout service. So locally, that's see disconnected layout service locally. That means, okay, it's not connected with the Sitecore. Okay, all the data will be available here in the YAML file. So I'll show you routes enyml. See this YML. So that means, okay, see here the disconnected mode works with the YAML file. So disconnected mode works with the YAML file. So they already have the YAML file. They have the structure like the Sitecore one. We have the ID like Sitecore, and we have the fields. The field name is page field, that is a page title, and we have the placeholders, and we have the component. The component name is content block, and we have the inside that component we have the field like heading, content, like that. Okay. So once you've done this JSS disconnected mode, and you can go and check, because this is running in 3000, okay, localhost. Okay, so this is the initial page, okay, the vanilla page, okay, whatever the Sitecore provides from the disconnected mode. Yeah, so the next mode is the connected mode. Connected mode means, okay, it works with Sitecore. So we already have the Sitecore setup. For that, okay, we need to do some setup in terms of the JSS. I'll just move to this particular here. These steps and all not required. Yeah. So first thing we need to create, we have to go to the Sitecore. Okay, let me pitch into the Sitecore. This is my local Sitecore. Yeah. Here I already told multiple times. So we have Sirajuddin JSS app. Yeah. So this one, I'll tell you how I created this. Okay. So before that, we have the API key. So API key is nothing but this is the unique key to communicate from the Sitecore to the front end. So this is the communication key. Without this key, so nothing will work. So it will give you the bad request. So we have to pass this API key. This is the mandatory step. So the API key, how to pass? This is the item ID. We have to get it and we have to pass it. Okay. So so this is the first step to for the connected mode. Once you created this API key, and we have to set this, okay, course origin, we have to allow everything. That's why star, and we just provide the impersonation user like extranet anonymous. Okay, so anonymous user also will allow in this case. And once you get this, okay, you have to copy this, and you have to go again and go into the terminal, and you have to put the JSS setup. Once you put the JSS setup, it will ask multiple questions and see. So these are all the questions it will be asked. Is your Sitecore instance on this machine or accessible via network? Okay, if you have any server, you have to give, yeah, is this Sitecore machine in your machine means okay, then yes, okay, it's not means no. And pass to the Sitecore folder. So Sitecore folder means okay, whenever we install the Sitecore in our local inet pub, IAS, we have inet pub, right? So in the www root, okay, we have the virtual directory. This is the Sitecore path. This path we have to give. And once you are done with this particular path, and we have to give the Sitecore host name. So I am going to give the Sitecore host name as Sitecore siraj.cm.dev.local. And the next is actually it is giving the import service. Okay, we can give it as a blank. Okay, so it will actually taking the API JSS import. Okay, this is not absolutely necessary. Sitecore API key, so this is really important. Okay, so we already copied our Sitecore API key. So this key and this key are different. Okay, don't confuse with that. This is a old article, and this particular key I have to give for this particular setup. Okay, I already done the these steps and all. Okay, so this particular API key we have to give here, and please enter your deployment secret. Okay, you just provide the empty one here as well. Okay, it will automatically create the deployment secret. I will tell you why the deployment secret key is required. And so once you've done that, okay, all the settings will be saved, and what will happen is, and it will actually once you've done this, okay, then you have to give, there are the two configuration will be created. Yes, the two configuration will be created in the, once you're done with this step. Okay, two configuration will create where, and I'll show you maybe the Sitecore config, this one, Sirajuddin JSS app.config and the deployment secret.config. So this is the deployment secret value. It generates by default by the Sitecore itself. Okay, when I gave the empty one, so here it is creating this app config. In this app config, okay, we have the site definition, right? Okay, if we know the Sitecore, we have the site node we have to define, right? In that site node, okay, we have the name Sirajuddin JSS app, and the host name is this one, and root path is this one, and the start item is this one, and database, actually the master it is defining. If you wanted to give the CD server, then you have to give the database as the web. And the deployment secret, it has already created the deployment secret here. So once you've done that, we have to go to the environment file in our front-end application, and here we have to see there are a lot of options. Okay, it was previously empty, so we have to fill this manually. Sitecore API key I have to give here manually, and JSS editing secret is nothing but the deployment secret, so I have to provide here. I will tell you why this JSS editing secret is required. And so fetch with already I define as a rest, that's why it is taking as a rest. And this one is only for the local, and don't take this particular thing into the mind. Okay, this is ignoring actually the SSL certificate verification. So whenever we go for the server installation, so this will automatically take care, because server we are going to use the certificate SSL certificate valid. So here in local, okay, we don't want that particular thing to be happen. That's why I just provided this node TLS reject unauthorized equal to 0. This is only we have to do for the local. So once we done this, then again I'm coming back here. We have to do this JSS deploy config. So whenever the JSS deploy config, so what it will do is, so when you just deploy config, when you do this, the front-end application already knew the Sitecore host name, right? And the Sitecore path as well, the app root path as well. So here it will create, once you've done this, okay, it will create the application config file in the backend as well. So I will show that here, app config, then include ZZZ. So these two things. Once you've done that deploy config, okay, this will come here. I will tell you why I did this disabled. Okay, this for the later part of the session. Okay, so this one done, and once we done this, and we have to deploy the items. So we have to deploy the items from the local, from the Next.js to from the next phase to the backend applications. Okay, so from here, okay, how it is happen. Okay, so here we have the Sitecore definitions and manifest file and the data's import.json, and here it contains all the definitions, whatever the components it created in the front end. Okay, it has, we have to follow some hierarchy. Okay, then only it will create actually. So by default it has created all the Sitecore definition automatically for the vanilla instance. Okay, so all these will be deployed into the Sitecore. So whenever you do this, okay, you will get definitely the error in the local. It will say like, okay, your Sitecore is not accepting the things because we have to give accept certificate like thumbprint we have to give, or else okay we have to provide that node TLS rejected unauthorized. So because the here it is checking the SSL certificate valid. So once you deploy this with the SSL certificate valid or accept a certificate as a thumbprint of the certificate, then it will actually deploy your items into the Sitecore. So once the deployment done in the Sitecore, so we have this structure. So I already done these steps and all, because if we do these same steps in the session, okay, it will consume our time. That's why I already done that. So once you've done that, okay, it will create the components content. This is a home node, and see, already the site definition file we already seen. We have the home and Sitecore content, Sirajuddin JSS app, and home as a start item. I'll show you this. See, this is the JSS app is the root path, and the start item is the home. Okay, so then now I'm going to do the JSS start connected. So before I go here, okay, I just go into the package.json. See, this is the start connected. Okay, the start connected, we don't have any any property called JSS mode equal to disconnected. That means okay, it is going to work in the connected mode, like okay, the front end application is going to connect with the Sitecore. So now see, there is no disconnected layout service watching. There is no data. And here, see, so now the local host 3000. Now I am going to refresh this, and I will make you. This is happening from the. Okay, welcome to this one page content block. Here the heading from Sitecore. I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to refresh this. See, this is coming from the Sitecore. This is proof of concept, like this is running from the Sitecore. Fine. So now we are going to see very important part of this session, and let me go into the. Okay, we are now from this we know what is the API key and what is, okay, I will tell you what is the JSS editing secret, not now. So Sitecore API host, we know, so Sitecore API host is nothing but the API domain. Okay, we already provided, and connected mode works through the JSON response, right? Oh, what is that? So we have the layout services. For example, in disconnected mode, we have the YAML file. From the YAML file, it is getting the data, but in Sitecore, how it is happen, okay, how the data is transferring from the Sitecore to the front end. Okay, so that is the question, right, for the beginner. So that is happening through the service. Okay, so that service where it is actually getting it means, I'll just go here. Here we have in the application, we have the path TSX. Here we have the layout data. Here we have the Sitecore page and get server side properties. In this context, because this get server side properties will work through the SSR. So when we work through the SSR, okay, this context will provide the layout data and the properties from the Sitecore. So the how this is happening means, okay, we have The layout service host is this one, and layout service URL, which is coming through. I'll just show you. See, this is the URL. We have the Sitecore API layout render. Okay, this configuration inbuilt we have in the Sitecore JSS framework. Okay, so here Sitecore API layout render. Okay, we have default and we have the JSS. There are the two particular node is providing the data. So I will tell you what is the difference between the default and the JSS. Default is entirely the layout service one, but the JSS will aware the GraphQL. That is the one major difference. But the default will not provide this one, will not understand the GraphQL. We will sometimes we will face some issue when we use the default. When you go to the JSS, this is aware of the GraphQL as well. So that's why always we go with the JSS. And this is the item ID. Item ID. This is the home item ID. And maybe this is the different. I'm just go with this home now. And we have to give the SC underscore API key. Here we have to pass the API key. And the site name is Sirajuddin JSS app. We already seen it in the site definition config. And language is English and tracking equal to true. This is optional. See, when you hit that, you get lot of data. And here you are going to get the from Sitecore. See, the data is coming here as a value. Welcome to Sitecore JSS from the Sitecore. This is how you are seeing it here. The welcome to Sitecore JSS from the Sitecore, which means okay, data is getting from the layout service. Okay, and then next, I'll just close this. Okay. Yeah, I'll come to the JSS editing secret. So what is the JSS editing secret? Because whenever we choose the application, okay, we have to see it from the user point of view. The user is going to get the data for sure, but from business point of view, okay, we have to edit the data, right? Okay, from somewhere. So in the Sitecore, we have the actually the Sitecore, we have the page and it has the presentation and it has the data, but sorry, it doesn't have the presentation, it has the data. That presentation needs to come from the front end, right? So that communication, right, for editing, okay, so that's why we have this JSS editing secret code to actually communicate with proper authentication. So I will show you. So we have already the JSS editing secret in the environment file I showed here. JSS editing secret. I'm going to, I already done the setup in the Sitecore side app config, include maybe the Sitecore JavaScript services, and here we have the viewengine.http. Here we have Sitecore viewengine HTTP JSS editing secret. You have to set this value. So while going through the deployment process, okay, we can set it automatically through the deployment process. But here in the local, we have to set it manually here. So this particular value and the JSS editing secret in the environment file should match. Otherwise, it is not going to give the data. And so I'm going to show you how the experience editor also works. So we have the experience editor in the publish window. Okay, this is the home. I'm going to edit this. See how this is working. So this particular all the UI thing is there in the Sitecore, right? But how this is working? So through the JSS editing secret, and not only the JSS editing secret, and maybe I will go to the next slide. See here, must know about this. I already we already discussed about this app.config file. It contains the site definition and the server side rendering configuration we need to do. So this is how, okay, I wanted to show you. So the server side rendering is nothing but, okay, we have to go to the config file. So not here, include ZZZ. Now it is disabled, but I already enabled through the different way. I'll tell you later. I'm going to show you the server side rendering engine URL, this one. So this is going to give the presentation. Okay, so when you when you hit this in the browser, it is saying so invalid secret, and also sometimes it will say like, okay, it is not accepting that get, but it is getting some data, right? It is not accepting the get. It is a post. Actually, this particular API is working as a post. So which means, okay, this is going to give you the presentation, and the data is residing in the Sitecore, and that's why the through the JS editing secret value, it is giving you to the data to edit. So you can, if you want, okay, you can edit the data here in the experience editor. This is how the experience editor works. And the next thing, okay, let me go little fast. Okay, so deployment secret file we know, experience editor we know, component presentation, it is purely depends on the front end code. I already told you, right? Okay, the component presentation is the presentation code which is residing in the Next.js. So in the Sitecore itself doesn't know the presentation. So the server side rendering configuration is providing you the presentation, and we can create the component in the Sitecore as well. Like I will tell you, for creating the component, maybe I'll just close this. I already created one component. Let me show that component as well quickly. And the feature demo content. Okay, this is the template. So for this demo, purposefully I created this demo template have only the name and the description. These are the two fields. Okay, I'm going to get it, and once we created the template, we have to go the renderings, and then the feature, we have the demo content. Okay, I already created the rendering as well. So for creating the rendering, we have to right click and we have to choose the JSON rendering and to create the new rendering as well. I already created this rendering as a demo content. So in the rendering, once you created the JSON rendering, okay, the component name will be the demo content, and here the data source template. This data source template, you are going to choose whichever template you created. So I created the demo content template. I just linked this demo content template over here. And for this demo, purposefully, I created one demo page. Okay, I'm not going to show this vanilla pages to you. So now I have created this demo page. I have only one component here, that is the demo component. The demo component, we have the two, actually by using this template, I have created this. I have the name and description. Okay, so the name is Sitecore SUG Nagpur event, and Mohammed Sirajuddin is presenting Sitecore Headless Development session. So now, here, let me go here and quickly, I hope, okay, this is running still. Yes, it is running. And let me go here, and I'm going to show the demo page. See, so how this is coming. So Sitecore SUG Nagpur event, Mohammed Sirajuddin is presenting Sitecore Headless Development session. Okay, so I quickly go here. Okay, sorry. Okay, in the Sitecore, we have the demo page, we have the presentation, and we have the details. And the details, okay, I have the layout is already attached. I use the default layout, and I attached this component. This component has the data source whichever I created here, so that's why it is working. But presentation, where it is coming, the data is coming from here. The presentation, where it comes, okay, I already created the component here. For creating the component and all, okay, so I have the I have front end and Sitecore first. Okay, we have the document. I'll share this. Okay, you just go through it. Okay, if I show that, okay, it will take definitely the time. So for creating the once I created the component, it will come here. In the component section, we have the demo content. So here the demo content, I have this presentation div demo content component. It is seeing over there. Demo content component, and text field, this is the property fields dot name. So it is coming from here, dot name dot description. This is purely going with the rest. That's why it is using props dot fields, the props dot fields dot name and description. That's why it is coming as a name as a Nagpur event, and this is as the description. So this is a simple presentation and the component from the Next.js, from the Sitecore to the Next.js. Okay, so this is working fine. Let's move to the next one quickly. See, so once we done that, okay, so now everything is working in local. Okay, these things, okay, for beginners and the intermediate skill people, okay, this is very easy. So they may think, okay, so what is happening really? Okay, so whenever the application grows, okay, how we have to think. So for front end, actually, for Next.js, okay, we have to keep the source control in the separate repository. Okay, that is the process actually. So we have to create one repository, maybe in the Azure DevOps or the GitHub. So whichever repository your requirement satisfies, okay, you have to create that. For backend as well, we have to maintain separately the source control. So the next one, okay, now the question, when is Sitecore backend code needed? So now everything in the Sitecore, okay, the Sitecore, we have the data and everything is there, and it is working with the vanilla framework. All the codes are up and running with the SDK. And when the Sitecore backend code repository is required, so what is there in that? Okay, definitely that would be the question always coming to the mind, right? Okay, whenever we start our career from the beginner to intermediate, whenever you move, okay, you will have this question. Okay, so these are all the mandatory files from the backend. Okay, so you have to keep the structure. For example, in the backend means, okay, we have the application specific config file, which is I already have the backend solution. So for the backend code setup, okay, we have to follow such principle. Okay, we already know and familiar with one of the principles in the Sitecore, that is the helix principle. So that helix principle, I already created this application. Okay, so this is the solution. We have the Sitecore headless demo, and I have the demo feature, foundation, and project. Okay, so we have this layer, right? Project layer, okay, contains the project, and feature layer contains the feature, and foundation layer will contain the foundation of our features. Like maybe the inheritance, okay, the classes, the objects will resides inside the foundation, and the feature will actually having all the features like navigation, header, content, footer, content, breadcrumbs, okay, blah blah blah. So here, here what I'm going to show is, okay, so in the project, okay, I have one project right now. So that is a Sirajuddin JSS app. So for that particular project, okay, I'm going to create the application config file. That application config file is app in the app config. Okay, we have to just create these. This is just a C# web application. Okay, you have to create 4 projects, and you have to make it a feature, foundation, project, and the one environment. I will tell you why the environment is required. So once we done this app config, okay, so we have the demo project.config. This demo project.config, okay, this is nothing. Okay, I'll show you what is there. So there is a one config file which was created by using that deploy config, right? Okay, so the same app config I'm having here. That's why I made this particular config file disabled over here, because this has to come from the publishing process. Okay, so whenever you go, your application grows, okay, this application config file will come through the deployment process. So that's why you have to keep this app config file in your project structure. So whenever you have the feature, sometimes, okay, you may wonder, so we have the feature, we have the component, we have the rendering, and we have the template, we have the content. Okay, so where the code is required. So sometimes, okay, your code will not work directly with your content, right? Okay, you have to do something with the content. We have to do some business logics. We have to apply some business logics. So that business logics come from the different services, different third-party services. That time, so your model is going to give some logic behind the data. Okay, so those data, so that time, okay, we have a concept called the content resolver. The content resolver will come into the picture. Once you have the content resolver, you have to do the customized content resolver in your hand. So I will tell you how this is working. So see, here we have to go the layout, and here we have the renderings. For example, I already created the demo content. Okay, so this demo content, we have the rendering contents resolver. So this content resolver is now set it as a none. that which means this is working as a default. Okay, this is working as a default. That's why we don't need, because I don't have any logic behind my data, because it's just a name, it's just a description. So in your application, it's not going to become only the name and description is going to come all the way. Okay, so you have some logics. Okay, the application grows, there are lot many logics needs to be written, right? Okay, that time, okay, you have to do some business logics behind. So then your model has to provide some data, right? That time you have to handle it through the content resolver. So in that case, I have created one small custom content resolver in hand. I'll show you that. Okay, we have the system, we have modules, and we have the layout service. Here the content rendering content resolver, we already have the default resolvers. We have the context item children resolver, context item resolver, data source item resolver. Likewise, okay, I'm going to create my custom content resolver. This custom content resolver, I have the demo rendering content resolver. So here the type I have given Sitecore headless demo feature content resolver demo content resolver. It is residing in the feature, right? So let me go to my code. Okay, Sitecore headless demo dot features, I have the content resolver. This content resolver, I just override this resolve contents. This resolve contents, what it does, actually I have the demo model. So this model also having the two name and the description. Okay, whichever I created previously in the template, the same field name. So the field values, that is a name and description. So that this name and description, I just having one customized custom rendering content resolver I attached with this name, okay, and the description. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to choose in this rendering, this demo content rendering. Sorry, I have this, and I'm going to choose, sorry, this one, demo content resolver, and save it. Okay, so I'm going to show it in the layout service. See, now the data comes, okay, in the demo content. Okay, the data is coming like the name is, it is coming from the custom rendering content resolver. It's not a Sitecore SUG Nagpur event. So I'm going to see that in the front end. Okay, so I already have this. Okay, for this I need to turn on this one, and I have to, okay, so here I'm passing this field. Okay, and this is a name, and this, okay, sorry, not this one, control Z. I'm just going to comment it. I'm going to uncomment this one for rendering content resolver. Okay, now let me go here. Okay, well, it is just is H1. Okay, this is, I'm going to show this data. Okay, let me go here. See, custom rendering content resolver, Sitecore SUG Nagpur one. Think that actually. So we don't have always rely on the default content resolver. Sometimes we have to break that default one. We have to write our customization for our customizing the data. Okay, as per the business logic. This is how it works. Okay, so now the third options. Okay, let me move quickly because we are running out of time. Okay, so sometimes, okay, we have the if you are using the GraphQL. Okay, so I'm not going to that, it is very advanced. Actually, we will create a custom graph type. That time also, okay, some code will be coming from the backend. That time, okay, we need the backend code. Understand this concept as well. We already know, I already showed that the content resolver and custom content resolver and the GraphQL. This is the time we have to go for the GraphQL as well. See now, so we have in GraphQL, we have the two modes. One is the integrated mode and second one is the connected mode. Okay, integrated mode is nothing but, okay, we have to keep that GraphQL in the Sitecore end. Connected mode in the sense we have to keep the GraphQL in the front end. It's very simple, right? Yeah, integrated mode, we have to keep the GraphQL in the back end, Sitecore itself, and connected mode, we have to keep the GraphQL in the front end. Okay, I'm going to show you the GraphQL playground. So in the GraphQL playground, we already, yeah, let me go there. This is the Edge playground. See, this is the GraphQL query, right? Okay. So when you see the GraphQL query, I'll tell you. Okay. So when I see this first, okay, it was very complex. Okay, I can't even imagine. Okay, but this is very easy when you started working on it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, okay, this is the item. I have the path, or I have to give the path. Either I have to give the item ID, and the language is the English, and I have the demo content template. I'm going to fetch these two field values. One is the name and second one is the description. Why I am giving this little bit different and not this one means, okay, this might be confusing with the item name itself. Okay, so that's why. I just purposefully setting this as a field name. Okay, when you run this, see, you get the data. So the data is a Sitecore SUG Nagpur event, and description is this one. Okay, so now I'm going to get the data from the GraphQL. Okay, this is pretty interesting, right? Okay, I'm going to do that. See, I already have this query. So we have in Sitecore, in the rendering, okay, we have the component GraphQL query. So now I'm thinking, okay, so I have to run my application through the GraphQL. Okay, so that's why now I will move this rendering control resolver to none, and I'm planning to move to the GraphQL query. So here I just put it. Okay, so GraphQL query, okay, the three things will automatically comes into the context. One is the data source, and second one is the context, and third one is the language. So when you give the dollar data source, it will take the rendering data source itself. It will take the respective languages. If you give the dollar context itself, means, okay, it will take the context item. Okay, so now I didn't put anything different. Okay, I just put this results from the playground. This particular thing I just copied and I put it over here. So now save it. So once you've done that, okay, so before that, okay, I'll just show you the magic. Okay, here, see, here the fields, we have the name, description. Okay, this hierarchy is a bit different, right? Okay, this is the hierarchy now working from the rendering content resolver or REST endpoint. Okay, so whenever I started working on the GraphQL, see, the GraphQL data structure, the schema will be little different. Okay, it starts from the data, its next results, and the name. Okay, so it starts from the fields and then data and then results. Okay, results means, okay, I just provided this as a customized value here, the property value. That's why it is coming here, the results. Otherwise it will come as item. Okay, so now I'm going to show you here. See, I'm using the default. I already told you, right? Okay, default is not getting the data from the GraphQL because it is not aware the GraphQL. I'm going to use this JSS. See, once I started using the JSS aware the GraphQL. Okay, so it renders, see, fields, results, name. Okay, the hierarchy got changed. So once the hierarchy got changed, okay, it will not work in the front end. Okay, can we do the magic? Okay, we will go here and I'll go here. See, this is the GraphQL structure. This kind of the refactoring needs to be done from the front end. Okay, this needs to be done whenever you consider from the REST to endpoint. This kind of the refactoring needs to do. Okay, I'll just do this. Okay, and I'll just uncomment. This is, I commented this. Okay, so when I do this, this is the hierarchy: fields, data, results. Inside that only I have the object like a name and description. Okay, so I'm going to this is only works for the content resolver. I just doing this. Okay, sorry, this one. This is coming as a name and description. This is coming from the data dot results. Okay, this hierarchy I need to set. Okay, now again I'm going back to the page. See, again it is coming. Oh, sorry, not this. I think, okay. So previously it was working from the rendering control resolver, but now it is working through the GraphQL because if I'm go with this, for example, so this is the rest, right? Okay, so what happens, I'll tell you. Okay, control KU, okay, and here I'm going to KC. Okay, what is going to happen means, okay, it will not render anything. Maybe this is coming from the, oh, okay, sorry, I'll just, it will not come because this will work only through the rest. Okay, so the GraphQL means, okay, you have to do this particular thing, the refactoring. Okay, so then only it will work. Okay, so let me quickly move. Okay, so then next question. Okay, so how the Sitecore items are maintaining? Okay, so Mahima, okay, could I take, okay, 10 minutes more? Okay, so because it is bit
Okay,
10
yeah,
minutes.
sounds
Okay,
good.
yeah,
I
so
was about to
very,
give you a time check. Yeah, you're
yeah,
already
yeah,
okay, no
yeah, yeah.
problem.
Can you give the 10 minutes? Okay. So thank you so much, Hamima. Okay. So this is how the Sitecore items are maintaining. Okay. This is the question, right? Okay. How are we going to maintain the Sitecore items? Okay. The Sitecore serialization actually is the one concept. Okay. Here in the headless part. Okay. We have to do through the Sitecore serialization. So for that, I already attached the installation and configure. Okay. So this is from the Adapt company. Okay. It's a very good, very good document. Okay. So you have to follow this. Once you started doing this, okay, you have, I'll show you quickly. See, okay, not here. Okay, in the going into the solution, one control folder here. See, we have the config, we have the Sitecore. Okay, here we have the .NET tools. Okay, it will actually install, and the Sitecore we have the schemas. Okay, this will install. After installing that, and once you've done that, we have the Sitecore JSON file. This JSON file, we have the hierarchy of the modules, and we have to provide the path structure, and here dot and then star and then star dot module JSON. Okay, that means, okay, we have to have the module.json inside or wherever the items required. Okay, for my project, okay, I need the API key, right? So I have the demo project.module. This project.module, I have this. This is the API key. This is the path. From this particular path, I am pulling the data. Okay, likewise, okay, I'm going to fetch one template now. Okay, so I'm going to create one module here in the feature. I have here control F and F2, and I'm sorry, feature. Okay, feature.module. Okay, here I already created one template, right? Okay, so I'm going to get the template. Which template I'm going to get? Feature, demo, and demo content template. Okay, I'm going to give this as a path. Okay, this template I'm going to fetch it through the serialization. Okay, going to Windows PowerShell and as an administrator, and we have one minute. Where is this application resides? D D and B. Okay, fine. D B CD and demo CD Sitecore Headless. So here we have to give the path, okay, where my Sitecore JSON file resides. Okay, this is the file. Okay, what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm just going to follow this. Yeah, use .NET tool restore. Okay, once you've done that, okay, the restore will happen, and I'm going to copy this. This is for connecting the identity server, and we are going to fetch the data from the Sitecore URL. Okay, okay, fine. So maybe let me use the cache. Okay, see, this is right. Okay, because authority have two hyphen. Okay, so it was missing. So now logging into the Sitecore, yeah, it will open here and it will allow you to, it will ask the access, okay, to allow the reading the content. Okay, once you've done that, so you are going to pull the content, right? Okay, through the serialization. Okay, then .NET Sitecore Serialization pull. Is it defined? Oh, okay, sorry. 1 minute. Let me change this to the feature because this is residing inside the feature. Okay, I just provided the project because I copied. Okay, discovered 4. Am I audible? Okay. Okay. So this is now discovered 4 changes, right? Or after evaluating 5 total items. Okay. Let me go here and I will show you quickly. Headless demo feature. We have the serialization. This is created inside this template, the demo template, content template created, and data created. This is how we are managing to pull the Sitecore items through the pull. And if you don't have any items in the any of the server, if you wanted to move the your Sitecore items combine, so then you have to use the push. So the push is using through this particular serialization folder. The serialization folder, whatever the template, whatever the data, whatever the renderings you have, okay, that will be easily installed in the any other environments. For example, if you use the dev environment, test environment, okay, you just go with this serialization pull push. Okay, this is one beautiful things in the Sitecore headless. So we have the deployment options for the front end. Okay, we have the backend deployment options as well. Here, I'm not going to cover much things. Okay, but we have the option. We have the Vercel. The Vercel has provided the Next.js hosting, and so it is providing the caching and everything. Okay, so the Vercel is the one option. We can deploy our front end application in the Vercel, and it will automatically build over there. And Netlify also is one option. Okay, to be honest, I don't know much about the Netlify, but this is the one option. And Azure App Services, normal Azure App Services, we can go, and Node Server application hosting as well. We can do that. Okay, if we don't have a budget for the Vercel licensing or Netlify licensing, and we can go for the Node Server VM hosting as well. So for backend, okay, we have two options. One is Azure App Services, and second one is the VM server options. Okay, we can go anything for the backend option as well. Okay, we have to create, for example, if we go from the start to the beginning, okay, we have to create actually the build and release definitions to succeed everything. For example, build definition will create the artifacts for your front end repository from the front end repository and the backend repository as well. So two separate build definition, two separate release definition will succeed all the deployment process. So this is the checklist summary. Okay, so now we have to we have the Next.js application, right, deployed as per the need. We can choose any deployment options. Sitecore solutions and config, we can deploy anywhere, okay, as per the need. And serialization also done. Okay, we have to take care of the serialization as well as part of the build and release pipelines. Release pipelines, and write build and release pipeline for both front end and the back end repositories. This is also required. Okay, whenever you go for the live application deployments. Okay, done with the process, right, from the start to end. Okay, my job is done here, but it's not over. Okay, so you can see. So why I'm saying it's not over? Okay, we have to always thinking. Okay, we should not think. Okay, our application is going very much in a right way or something. Okay, we should think in a advanced level as well. So how the application behaves in the future. So see, this is the questions always we need to ask. Okay, will application accept smoother migration in the future? Okay, so I'm giving some points. Okay, this is from my point of view. Okay, so there may be the lot many points should be there. Okay, so you can also add whichever points you have. So think about the Sitecore experience set schema. There is no CD servers. Okay, so in future there is no CD servers. Only we have the concept called the Sitecore experience set schema. So if there is no CD servers, just imagine. So we already written content resolver, our application grows, we are going to write lot many business logics, right? So that needs to be taken care of, right? Because the series server, we are going to deploy that. Okay, how the Sitecore experience edge schema works? Okay, it works through the snapshot. This is just a snapshot. Okay, it is not going to take any DLL, anything. Okay, so then fetch with the GraphQL is the only option for the Sitecore XM Cloud. The people are now migrating into the Sitecore XM Cloud, right? So now we have to think. So only the GraphQL is the option for the Sitecore XM Cloud. It will not accept the REST endpoint. So first of all, okay, we have to check, okay, how our application to be moved towards the GraphQL, and think twice before writing external logics or creating data source in Sitecore. Because make sure whenever you create the data source, keep it in the content resolver node itself, which means, okay, data source resolver, it means, okay, you have to keep the data source in the head itself. Okay, so you should not write more content logics in the backend going forward. You have to, if you want really the backend logics to be written, okay, that needs to be handled through the Next.js. That should not be handled through the backend like the .NET. Okay, so that means, okay, we need to move towards the technology stack Next.js. So .NET developer is going to, maybe, so there may be the options for the .NET developer, because the Sitecore familiar .NET developer. But anyway, so we have to definitely learn the Next.js. We have to move towards, and the GraphQL as well is the very much part of it. So choose either connected mode or integrated mode GraphQL to use. It depends on the backend and frontend developer. Frontend is overloaded, you can go for the integrated mode. Frontend is less loaded, then you can go for the connected mode GraphQL, which means, okay, they can still keep the GraphQL in the frontend itself. Okay, so it's a bit long session. Okay, so very sorry. Okay, I 10 minutes delay. Yeah, so thank you so much, SUG Nagpur, for the opportunity to present. Okay, so this is I think, okay, from my point of view, I got some experience. I wanted to share that experience on how the Sitecore headless works from the scratch, because here I got an opportunity to work from the scratch. Okay, I faced a lot of challenges, and so those challenges, okay, how we are going to handle it in the future. Okay, that is always a question, right? Okay, so that question, okay, I wanted to share it here, and yeah, I'm done actually. Thank you so much, Suji Nagpur.
Awesome. Thank you, Siraj. Does anyone have any questions? I don't see anything in chat section. You still have 1 minute if you want to ask anything. Or definitely in future, if you have any questions and query, feel free to reach out to any one of us from Sitecore SUG Nagpur, or even Siraj, and I'm sure he'll be able to help you.
Yeah, definitely, Mahima. Yeah.
So there's one question from Ravi Sharma. He says, how will personalization work?
Okay, that is a good question, but I haven't had this experience still, the personalization thing. Okay, so maybe I take this question as my challenge as well. So who's raising this actually?
Ravi Sharma.
Ravi Sharma. Okay, definitely I will come back to you, Ravi Sharma. So through the LinkedIn or somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, like if there is XM Cloud, they also have a new product, Sitecore Personalize. So you need to opt that if you want personalization thing. Um,
Then we add
also,
JSS. No,
yeah,
actually, we have a Helix application. No, actually, we should separate the repository, I think. So we should not add this JSS application into the Helix architecture. So it is a different Next.js setup, and we have the front-end setup. We should maintain as separately. So because if you have the JSS projects add into it, means, okay, it will be purely dependent. So always, okay, the trigger will be running for the backend as well. So that is unnecessary. So we have to at least separate that backend solution as well as the front end solution. So, but Helix will not work for the front end JSS project. Yeah. Yeah.
when migrating to XM Cloud, how to take care of custom pipelines in legacy application?
Migrating XMCloud, how to take care of custom pipelines in yeah, so that's what I said, right? Okay, in the legacy applications, okay, we have all the custom pipelines. Okay, so we have to come up with how we are going to, because we don't have any CD servers going forward, and we are not going to do it. But definitely this is the question when we are going to do the migration. But yeah, now I'm not working in the XM cloud, but this is also the question. Maybe this is your question. I told you, right? Okay, I have 5 set of questions. Maybe this is your questions in mind. Okay, you in legacy application we saw the pipelines. Okay, we have to definitely take care of it, but we should definitely have the option. I will check that out as well. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
okay, I guess these are all questions that we had. Sounds good. Thank you, Siraj, for the
Yeah.
insightful session. Your expertise in headless development and Sitecore has definitely given us a valuable perspective to take away.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
And
Mahima. Yeah.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone who joined us today and participated today. We hope that you found this discussion enriching. Hope to see you in our next sessions of Sitecore User Group Nagpur as we continue to grow within Sitecore community. Until next time, take care and thank you.
Thank you, Mahima. Thank you so much. Thank you all.